Welcome everyone. Let's get going. And on the data front this week, got the US off on Wednesday, and tomorrow we've got Aussie rates, G7, US core retail sales tomorrow, UK inflation Wednesday. Now, UK inflation is supposed to be coming in at 2%. And then, of course, we've got Bank of England on Thursday, 12 o'clock midday UK time, weekly jobs, and a lot of services data on Friday. So a busy week. Let's start with the dollar. Dollar's had a strong couple of weeks here. It's hit a lot of resistance. So if this dollar falls back here into this resistance and sells into this resistance, then expect it to come into 103. So let's have a look at a couple of Forex examples then. Let's have a look at what the pound's doing. These are weekly charts, by the way. So two lower closes, but it's very marginal. This pound is sitting up as we approach Bank of England on Thursday. So we are sitting in a huge amount of support. Let's look at the daily. Yeah, so we've held up today, hit that resistance on Wednesday, pulled right back, and here we are sitting on this support. So if we break these lows either tomorrow or sometime this week, then expect that to drop back. I've got to say at this stage it looks lower. Let's put the 50-day average on there. Okay, so this touch underneath here, this 126 is really, really important. That's the ratio support and the 50-day average. So if we come down there and hold, that could light the fuse for that to push up. Let's take those markings off because they're not very helpful. Okay, so we look as if we could drift back. It's a question of whether it's a bullish consolidation and that drift back gets bought and they start to run that up, or if we are done. Let's look at the so Elliott, we're pretty range bound overall. So at higher highs, higher low. I would steer clear. We're stuck in this channel. We've been stuck in there since we pushed up here on the 15th of May. I would steer clear. In the meantime, the pound yen continues to get, this is the one to trade. These pullbacks in this one just continue to get bought. So when we were down here on early May, we were outside of this channel. We've been back inside that. We'd be inside that channel for most of this year. In fact, if I pull that back further, yeah, so this big push up as we opened in 24, and all the subsequent pullbacks have been bought, and today is no exception. So if this starts to motor, the next step is 205. In the meantime, we may still get a touch of this channel low. All right, so that's a really bullish chart. So I think that the one to trade is definitely the pound yen Let's look at the euro. So the euro is somewhat beaten up after that rate reduction. Um, I think any test of this 108 is to be sold into. If we pop back into the range from last Thursday, I think that's to be sold into, unless, of course, again, I would leave it. It's a potential head and shoulders to the upside. Shoulder, head, shoulder. This is a neckline then. If we close above this, then this euro can recover. Um, I would steer clear. I would just stick the buy pullbacks in the pound yen personally. You looking at any other currency pairs? Tell you what, let's have a look at good bellwether. Let's have a look at the US dollar yen. Yeah, not too dissimilar from pound yen. So we dipped in March, that got bought, dipped in May, that got bought. So pattern wise, we just look for chart patterns. This could still, just sitting above that structure, that looks as if that can go back to 106 plus. Um, if I want to make a call on this, wow. I mean, if we can break that high, we look as if we can go to 165, 164, 165. Right. Indices. I've looked at, I could go for the NASDAQ. The US has come out sprightly. The US is not with us. They got a bank holiday on Wednesday. It's such a short week. So traders seem to have steamed in and they're pushing this NASDAQ to new all-time highs. That is again an incredible chart. Trend line. ah, sorry, let me just do this. What I'm trying to do is pull that channel out. So I'm looking at the lows in January, the middle of April before we broke down, and then the early June before we broke up. So that looks as if we're capable of punching through 20,000 here. We're very close to 20,000 now. Any major drop at this point, um, hold on to your hats because that could tip over quite quickly. In the meantime, be careful. FTSE. So with a lot of UK data this week, inflation and services, if we close up above 8,200, that's going to go back to the highs. We are under, the highs have up to now been selling. So if we push into, wow, again, at this stage, I would steer clear. That's quite a significant volume on the downside today. Again, if we break the lows, we could so easily start to make our way down to 7,700. Punch above 82, and then we're going higher. Hmm. I would steer clear. Let's start looking at some commodities. Gold. Gold dipped to 223.09. Yeah, see, gold's really struggling here. Let's tidy this up because this is a mess. Okay, let's skip the channel. We're talking about channels today. I've just decided today's topic is channels. So if we come back to 2300 and hold, of course, we're very close to 2300. Any subsequent dip underneath 2300. 2390. If we come into 2390 and hold, we could start to march our way back up. So if we come out of that channel, if we breach that channel but pop back up, that could send a message that we're prepared to go back up to the highs. We're prepared to go to the top of that channel, which will take us up to 2500. Oil, oil continues to pick up. Um, very close to the 80 mark now. So we pulled right back into that February demand zone. And now we're heading up to, we're already, I would steer clear of oil. If we bash into this trend line on this 50% and sell, that could triple all the way back again. So what we've got here at the moment with the oil is a potential 1, 2, 3 wave. I mean, it's holding up nicely at the moment, so I wouldn't short it. But if we crash into the 80 mark and can't hold it, I think we could tip down again. This is we're not above this trend line resistance. We're underneath the trend line resistance and we're underneath 50%. So just be very wary about that. In fact, let me update this. That's the last move. Yeah, so I think we could see 80, possibly punch through 80 into 81.75. I mean, it's a decent close today. So if we see 78.50, we could go and find 82, 80, 82. But I think there's a better chance out there. Let's look at wheat. Yeah, so my plan for wheat is failing at the moment. Absolutely failing. We had a really good day on Tuesday. One of the highest volume days since 6th of December, and it's just turned around and failed. So we look as if we're going to see 595 again. Wow. I mean, the real channel low is underneath 550. So unless it starts to turn around pretty quick, expect some much lower numbers. And the main demand level appears to be down there at 550. Um, So that hurts. That hurts. I'm not majorly under, but I am under on that one because I started to fill up again at 660, which seems ridiculously high now. Right, it's not working. So let's look at sugar. Sugar is working, but it's closed under the 50-day average, and it's engulfed last week's move. So even the sugar could be coming down as well, unless that starts to pick up above 12 and close above 12. I am above water on this one, but the jury's out with that close today. Volume's falling off, so I may not be safe in that one either. Right, let's move it. Let's just look at Bitcoin. It is such a beast, this one. Right. So this Bitcoin does not look safe up here at the moment. So channel lows would suggest with 66K, that looks as if unless we start turning around quickly, we're going to hit 60K. And if we break 60K, we could come all the way back down to 50. Lower high, lower lows, doesn't look happy. That does not look as if that's sustainable to me at this stage. Right. Any other? Let's look at copper before we go. There's OJ, orange juice, put up back above last year's highs again. That looks higher. Natural gas. I welcome this pulling back. So the main 20 is the main line in the sand. I hope we get a chance to see that before summer's out. High grade copper is not holding. So these commodities are so far not having a great summer. The main trend line in copper. So that would suggest the crossover is 42.5. At the moment, unless we turn around quickly, that looks as if we're going to see 42.5 on the copper. The other one, coffee. That's sitting up. Beans. No, beans are failing as well. Beans could come down to 10 or 11 at this rate. I tell you what, I'd love to see beans down there. I'd love beans. I would be all over beans if they came down there and held, of course. Right. Interesting. Okay, so I need to be more cautious on the commodity side at the moment. Right, stocks. Get an update on the telecoms. So this uh, Vodafone has come back, nestled back into the breakout area and looks if that's holding on volume. So I suspect, why is that up there? I think sometimes right. So again, the main support, the main breakout area is right the way back down 65. Okay. I would have thought we'd see at least 65, 67. I like these stocks. Let's have a look at the BT. So BT saw 142 today, was it? 143. Wow. Wow, as in, what do I say about it? Because yeah, when stocks start wiggling at these highs, it gets very much harder to predict what they might or might not do. I would have thought that's going to come and see 134, 135 again, because it seems to have been a lot of profit taking up there. So if you want to get back in, I would just, if you're not in this and you want to get back in, I would just sit tight and wait for this to have a bad hair day and fall back into support again. Otherwise, you're at risk of buying high and taking a lot of heat. Rolls-Royce just chugs along at the highs. Pan-Africans. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Barclays. Yeah, I think things like Barclays, I think I think that could get to 250. The brokers think this is, I saw a broker's report suggesting this could go to 250. Um, yeah, we've got a breakup area of 190. It's worth waiting with Bank of England and inflation this week. It's worth seeing if this can dip back closer into support and come and find that breakout area at 190. Let's get rid of this. Yeah, see if that, I would be interested if we retest that area. In fact, yeah, let's leave that. If we start holding above 210, I don't think you're going to get a deeper pullback. Let's look at a few others. We talked about Rio. No, so commodity stocks, related stocks are falling back. Man Group, potential good opportunities here. So I need to stand back and just let this market drift back. Right, let's get an update on, right, here's some key stocks now. Centrica. Yeah, see, on Friday, that pulled back to 128 support and held. I would, again, if I can get a dip into 125, I'm in. Yeah, I want to see that back at 125 if I can on Centrica. Let me write a note. The other one is, I'm not tracking very carefully, it is National Grid. Um, yeah, I'm waiting for this to pull back. I want this to fall back into this £8 area at least. Look at the volumes coming in on this. This has picked up from 7.90 to £9. And now we're pulling back again. So that's why I'm being patient. I want this to, so we're above the gap. Let me just think this through a bit more. The crucial area is that, so we gap down. Okay, that was a Monday, right. Let's see, I would want that. So we've got a lot of resistance up here from October. Yeah, so I'm looking for this to fall back. So effectively what we've got is a 1, 2, 3 wave. Yeah, so if that happens, I'm in at the lows and then waiting to see if we can close the gap at 9.55. So if that works out, then I want that to go and close the gap at 9.55. But if I look at the ratios of the whole thing, yeah, 8.30 is a ratio support. Right, okay, I'm going to leave that off because I just want to track how that behaves. It may be this just in this week close above 8.85 and then just goes and does it. But I'm going to be patient for that one. Um, what's the other one? Let's look at, here's another one. Yeah, okay, this has started to come back. So we've seen 181 on this. From 181, we went to 217. Um, I'm going to wait for another touch of 180, 175, 180 on that. I am going to be patient and not running. So I want that to do a full retracement of that trend line. 150, 175 will be obviously ideal. If it starts running, I'm not going to chase it. Simple as that. Right. What's the other ones? Let me just look at my notes. Anything you want me to look at? Look at another couple of sectors. Look at healthcare. Glaxo. Now, that's a very interesting chart because back in April we broke up from here on that one. Bristol Myers. Nope, still not doing it. Begs the question, why are the indices holding up when a lot of stocks are like this? I'm just going to sit back and watch that one. What else have we got? Very quiet today. Oh, I knew. Let's. Hmm. So not so long ago, this was close to 260, back to 230. I think that might well come back lower. I don't think that pullback's done yet. I would love to see the February lows on that one. Right, that's all of my main watch list. Let me just scan through. Um, let's just have a look at some UK retail and get a handle on how the retailers are doing. Tesco had results the other day, didn't they? Looks, mm, 293, 295 is a buy on that one if we go and see it. Next is holding up well. British Airways finding support. May turn around here. EasyJet. Ooh, keep an eye on it if you. I don't. I'm not interested in EasyJet. I'm not interested in anything exposed to the retail at the moment, but that is trying to hold there. Um, no, don't like that. Shoe Zone. Hmm. I've not looked at this. So steamed up to 280, and here we are down at 165. Right, I'm done. That's WH Smith's Chewy. Hmm, not great. Okay, so yeah, obviously we are at that time of year where we need to be that much more cautious. Wow, Dow is still climbing up. Um, so we're red on the Dow. That's interesting. We held up on the Monday last week and then spent the rest of the week underwater. Maybe we'll see the same again. Pick up into resistance on the Dow and then start to fall off rest of the week. So you can see all that resistance up there. So if we start coming into 39,000, that's triple witching. Um, so all the contracts, futures and options expire on Friday, futures roll over to the new contracts. That could explain why a lot of commodities are weak as we go into because the volume is spread now over the old contracts and the new contracts coming in. So all the buyers who want to hold on to what will be the old contracts are sitting there, and the speculators are coming out and looking at the new contracts. So that could explain why things like the wheat are so low. All right. Okay. You're not asking me to look at anything, so I will finish up. Like I said, a week to be cautious, I think, particularly as the US is off on Wednesday. Let's um, let's at least see how today finishes and talk to you soon. All right. Thanks, guys. Oh, no, sorry. I only just seen for some reason, I didn't double check your messages. BHP, right. Rio we looked at, didn't we? BHP. Um, yeah, looks lower. Could come and see. I wouldn't touch that at this stage. As with everything else, I would just take it easy and see where that wants to go. Got all that support down at 2150. At this stage, we might come and see these lows. So we had a double bottom there. August 23, March 24. I tell you what, if we come down to 2150 and hold, that's a good one. 2150. Um, Lufthansa short, okay. My daughter is flying in from Germany on Wednesday. Right. Uh, is that in the UK? Are you looking at that on the German exchange? Right. Um, wow. When it flew up there in March last year, that was a great time to get. Let's have a look at that. How could you have shorted that last year? Let's get a bit more data on there. Um, Back in 18, it was 2060. Right, so that push up in March 23 was right into the ambush zone. In fact, that we had a gap down on Feb 20. I had COVID. There's the gap. There's my little box. There we go. There's the gap. So we closed the gap and more into resistance and then started to wind back down again. So, I well, I mean, if you're talking to me back here in back in the last year, I would have said short into that 840, 830, 840. Now it's tougher. For the last 2 weeks, this is a weekly chart. Um, if you you've got at least, I would have thought I wouldn't short from down. Are you short already, or are you looking to get in short? If you're short already, stay put. If you're not in it, I would wait and see if that can get to 650, 630. I mean, if you're in it already, um, and we continue to break last week's low, um, You're looking at to get out. Okay. Well, the main level down is 520. I would, I don't know where you got in, but I would have thought that might, well, I would look to get out of at 520. Of course, if it breaks 520, you're going to see 460, 450. Um, there's a mountain of support down there at 520. It is coming down a volume, so it does look as if it's got more to come. I would try and hold out for at least 520, if not lower, because if um, we break that little fight, that support and that 520, then yeah, this is gonna tumble. This had a very good week on 11th of March this year. Okay, brilliant. Thanks, guys. See you soon.